Looking for a way to unlock the full potential of your digital dentistry workflow? I'm Elise Hifko, Associate Manager of Digital Services with Ivoclar. I'm excited to introduce you to CAM Academy, Ivoclar's new in-person training experience designed specifically for dental technicians. This hands-on course explores the full potential of programmable CAM software, helping you take your digital workflow to the next level. Learn directly from Ivoclar experts, refine your skills, and bring new precision and efficiency to your lab. CAM Academy is more than a course. It's your next step in digital excellence. To reserve your spot, visit the Ivoclar Academy website or contact your local Ivoclar sales representative today.
Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Greetings and welcome to episode 393 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
Good morning. My name is Barbara. Or good afternoon.
Well, good morning, Barb. How are you?
All right.
We're back to recording early on a Saturday. I know last episode you were very thankful for not waking up to me, but now you're waking up to me. So
yeah, this one I haven't
sorry.
even moved too far from my bed, but that's okay. You're worth it. Podcast is worth it. Everybody's worth it.
It's a great thing about it.
Yeah.
You can record anywhere.
But, I'm not as chit-chatty without my coffee, so let's get going.
Yeah. So, hey, we're about a month away from the Nowak Dental Lab Fest. That's coming up. It's so happening exciting. In New Orleans, November 6th to the 8th. It's going to be awesome. I am so excited for this event. We got to give a big shout out to the amazing people at Aidite. They are the ones that are sponsoring for me to go out there. So I'm going to be recording in their booth, next to their booth, around their booth. I'm not sure of the exact setup, but definitely going to be set up around Aidite, and I'm going to be talking to all these people that are going to be at this show. Of course, Barb, you're not going to be able to make it.
I'm going to be on a cruise with my whole family, so I'm super psyched about my cruise, but very disappointed that I will not be there with you. But I can't wait to hear all the interviews and see everybody and all the pictures on Facebook. It's going to be amazing.
It is. So everybody listening, you basically have two choices. You can either go to NOLALabFest.com, and for those that don't realize that NOLA is New Orleans, NOLALabFest.com, and register for this event before it sells out. It's getting up there. Or you can be like Barb and miss out and listen to all of us talk about it when we're all in Chicago.
That's right.
Because we're still going to be talking about it.
That's happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
So many great speakers. But some of the highlights I'm actually really excited for is a river cruise party that has like a 1920s theme, which I think is going to be fun. Stuck on a boat with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Can't get away from me. And, of course, the game show to end all game shows, Family Feud Lab Edition, hosted by yours truly. That is going to be so great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hosted by you, the one and only.
If you're on social media, we've posted the link, but Nowak's posted it. It's out there to help us fill out the surveys that we're going to be used during the game. Awesome. So this is your chance to participate even if you can't make it.
Nice.
So just go ahead and treat yourself and join me in New Orleans in November, NOLALabFest.com. That's my coffee.
That must be coffee.
So this week we got to speak to a technician that has a kind of unique journey to doing something you don't see a lot of technicians doing. Ed Molina was inspired to get into dental by his older dentist brother, but he started off as an assistant. Surrounding himself with some very talented mentors, Ed was soon into some pretty cool facially driven digital workflows that of course include facial scanning.
Awesome.
Now he's in the lab with his brother, but what he's doing is he's helping offices around the country get into digital and helping them navigate the good and get through the bad. So join us as we chat with Ed Molina. Voices from the Bench. The interview.
It's Ed, Elvis, just Ed.
Ed. Yeah, but I gotta get the last one. Is it Molina?
Correct. Yes, Molina.
Holy crap.
Wow,
Did you see that? I got it right. Yeah. Barb and I are super excited today because a gentleman reached out to me on Instagram. I think, what was that, April?
Wow.
And you're like,
we were in Germany.
Well, that was the reason we delayed it, because he's all like, hey, how do you get on the podcast? I said, reach out in June. I got way too much content right now.
It's August. And
here we are in August, but we are so excited today to talk to Ed Malone. Oh, I already messed it up. Molina. Right?
Molina.
Ed Molina. Ed Molina. You know what, everybody? I had it right before we hit record.
Ed Molina.
Ed Molina. Welcome to the podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We are so excited to get to know more about Ed and all that you do with Exocad and training. But you got a clinical background, don't you?
Yeah, I do. So
yeah, let's go back to the beginning.
Sure thing. Yeah, so I was pretty blessed. My brother luckily was going to dental school, and he had a buddy named Dr. Mirelez, which my brother put me in contact because at that point in my life, I was just I hate to say it, but a lost cause. I was just working at Target, not doing much. I had gotten married, and, my brother looked down on me and said, what are you doing with your life? You're married now. You don't have a good job. So he put...
There's nothing wrong with Target, let me just say.
Hey,
I get it.
You got to get your together, brother. Let's go. Get into dental.
That's exactly what he said. He said, worst comes to worst, you can work for me. Aww. He said, in the meantime, let me introduce you to my mentor, Dr. Mirelez. So sure enough, I went to his office. I told him, hey, my brother said to come check out your office. Either be a hygienist or a dental assistant, but do something. Dr. Mirelez looked at me and he just kind of laughed. He said, your brother told you like that? I said, yeah, tough love. Tough love is what thankfully got me here. So Dr. Mirelez took me under his wing. I started off with, just as every dental assistant, doing sterilization and just kind of watching procedures. Next thing you know, some of his girls get pregnant. And
you're called up.
Exactly. So from one day to another, I was just helping him out. He also, at the time, we're from a very small town in the digital field, where digital, it was like the last thing anyone expected to come out of there. But he had a imaging center, which he needed help running. So he said, hey, how about you run my imaging center? So I went ahead and I learned how to do CBCTs, and then just how to do everything with the CBCT machine, taking panos, just that whole shebang.
Let me back up a little bit. So where were you when all this, like what state?
I'm from Fresno, California.
Oh, so this is California, and anybody can be an assistant? I'm always surprised by this, that you don't need any sort of schooling or certificate or anything.
No, so that's the interesting part. Like at first I was just shadowing, and then I enrolled into the dental assisting program. So I did get
you went through a program.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Well done.
Okay.
My program.
So before you did that, you had to go into a program for how long?
It was an 8-year program.
Wow.
I mean, an 8-year. Oh my God. Only, right?
Yeah.
It was an 8-month program.
Right.
And then it was 2 months of extern hours.
Wow. So what does that mean?
So once you're done, you have to do about 120 hours of like being at an office, just learning how to do procedures or helping with procedures and just knowing how to take actual x-rays. Because when you're doing the program, no one leaves there taking a good x-ray. I'll just be honest.
They don't tell you about the real world.
Like 20 times.
Yeah.
So where'd you extern at? The same place you were already
correct
learning?
Yeah,
so that was pretty easy.
Yeah, because I told them, I said, hey, I'm very interested in like being good at this, and it looks like, honestly, I thought it was fun, which I still do, only now as the lab side.
Yeah, of course.
But I truly enjoyed it, so I was just doing pretty much like an internship all the way till I needed my hours.
Wow.
Yep. And that's when he said, hey, I got this expensive CBCT machine.
Come with me.
Help.
Yeah, which led me on to the next part, which was awesome. Then we met Dr. Michael Shear,
Yeah, Michael Shear, man, Mr. Locator himself.
Exactly. So then, we took his course. We started doing surgical guides. So luckily, that whole knowing where landmarks were on, the nerve and just where bone is, it actually helped me because then I was doing his surgical guide. Well, I wasn't doing it, but I was pre-setting it up. And then, he just went, reviewed it, gave me the green light, and off to the printer, the surgical guide went.
So
Wow.
you did surgical guides for Dr. Michael Shear?
No, for Dr. Mirelez. We took his course.
Oh, you took Shear's. I got confused. I was like, wow, dude.
All right, so you learned them from Shear, and then you went and did them with your doctor, and he realized you were amazing?
Yeah, but, I was so new to this whole digital aspect, and, I was just getting my feet wet when Dr. Miles was like, hey, I want to invest more. And then he brought on a guy that you might know of, which is Fernando Polanco.
Yep.
Yes. Wow.
So I mean, I'm telling you, when I say I'm blessed, God has given me quite the people to mentor.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then Dr. Miles brought Fernando.
Yeah, so he started working with you?
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
Dr. Morales wanted to do more stuff in-house. So next thing you know, the guy from the Bay Area that knew all the digital stuff came to our office and he just said, hey, I'm going to need help. This imaging facility, everyone now has panel machines, CBCTs. How about we just put that to rest and let's just go in for an in-house lab?
Wow. And you said, hell yeah, I'm in.
Actually, it was the opposite. I was like, okay, well, I still get my hours. I only want to work 32 hours a week. The dental assistants have it pretty cush. Some of them.
32 hours?
Yeah. So, which is funny, which goes to the next part. So I remember he brought Fernando on and it was around Lab Day West. So we ended up going Lab Day West. They go, hey, do you want to go to Anaheim? There's a little lab convention. You can meet people. You can see what the lab is all about. So I thought to myself, yeah, easy little vacation.
Yeah, there you go.
These guys did not want to leave the place until 10 at night. They were just talking to everyone and anyone. Mind you, this is when digital dentistry was really just coming into play.
Yeah.
So a lot of people had questions. Everyone was trying to figure it out.
Oh, my God. Seems a little late, no?
Yeah, I don't know who we were talking to, but I was just like, hey, I'm ready to go back to the room. Luckily, they came together with this digital workflow called InstaRisa. Then more people came on the team, which another great mentor of mine is Dr. Jeff Bynum. He was one of the clinical instructors. And he gave me more than just the clinical aspect. He actually started kind of guiding me like, hey, like this is what actual aesthetics looks like. He was a little bit, Dr. Mouse is very demanding, but Dr. Bynum, let's just say this guy's from the Coy Center and he was an instructor, mentor, and he really knows Dr. John Coyce very well.
Say no more.
And it's not difficult to work for them, no?
They just have a certain way of doing things.
Yes. There's a lot of very particularities that they have that if you don't do it that way, it's where we're doing the case.
So how does it feel like working with doctors like that? Do you just kind of like meet them in their own and just be like, okay, this is what they expect and this is what I have to do? And then you do it, or does it take a minute to get in their heads?
So being a dental assistant, that's all I know, unfortunately. Yeah. My goal was always to please the clinician, the doctor. And, I have met some lab technicians throughout my small little career here that say, hey, you need to tell the doctor, you need to tell him like, hey, this isn't going to work. And I'm like, hey, he's the clinician and he knows better. Yeah. That's my mentality. So I don't speak back much, or at least I don't believe I do. I try not to say.
It's definitely a fine line that's hard to cross. And you really got to understand the relationship if you can cross it or not. Yep. And even I, who will gladly tell you when you're doing something wrong, some doctors I don't, just because I know it won't work and it won't help the situation.
Right. Lie and say, shut up, Elvis.
That happened to me once, and that's all it took for me to just say like, hey, this might not work.
Hey man, you're paying the bill. And it's your malpractice that's on the insurance, not mine.
However, I do have one doctor who I do tell no to, and I say, hey, this doctor showed me to do it this way. And that's my brother now because he's been practicing for some time. So I'll be like, hey, that's not how Art would do it. That's not how Jeff would do it.
Oh, yeah.
So when you set up this first in-office lab and it was like digital and early, what'd you start with?
Yeah, so for the surgical guides, we started off with 3Shape, and I really liked doing them because, it was very easy, and I was just doing crown and bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Then Fernando came along, and he brought in Exocad, and I was lost for, 6 months. Exocad has so many features, and to add to it, the milling unit, which we got, and it came with its own CAD software, was Zircon's on, which now, that thing just holds my heart. We have one, my brother and I just love the Zircon's on system. But I will say it's a bummer that it's unfortunately a closed system here in America, or at least the way we purchased it.
That's not true in other countries?
No. So I know some people here in the East Coast that have some M1s, and they purchased them before they got into an agreement with another company. And they have open zirconia systems. They have everything open. But if you purchase it now, you'll have to purchase it through a implant company.
Yep.
And they'll tell you that you have to use all those products.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry about that, because there's some systems out there that we love that you can't get a hold of. I haven't heard that in a minute. Elvis and I talk to a lot of people, and most systems are open now.
Yeah, which, it's still a little bit of a sore spot, but we mostly do at my brother's office, which is the only place I do like crown and bridge and all on X4. We mostly do crown and bridge and cosmetic cases, so it works for that. But for all on X, I do wish we had a little bit less expensive puck.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But there's something to be said about closed systems and the workflow. It's all verified and it's just guaranteed to almost work every time, rather than hodgepodging 8 different companies to put something together.
No, definitely. And that's what I kind of sold my brother on, and anyone I'll speak to. It's like, okay, well, it's sort of like the sprint ray, right? Everyone likes sprint ray. Why? Because in short, lamest terms, it's dummy proof.
Oh, yeah.
You can teach you to utilize it.
And that's why they're in clinical offices.
Yeah. Which is what gravitates to a clinical office, because they want a systems-based practice. So like that, they can, if there's turnover or whatever the issue may be, they can go ahead and proceed on to what they need to do without a hiccup.
Yeah. If you look at those sprint ray printers, it tells you exactly what you need to do and when. There's no doubt about it. And you know what? It works. So props to it.
After that, all I did was Zircon's on. And now that I'm on my own, I actually just use nothing but Exocad, because it is a little bit easier and less expensive.
So talk about being on your own. So what happened? You were working for that doctor and just outgrew it, or?
He created a company called InstaRisa.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Yes, I know that. Yeah, the face scanning company, right?
Yeah, so it's funny because if we speak to them, and myself, a little bit biased, it's not just a face company; it's a facially driven workflow. Is what we were.
I like that. Facially driven workflow. It's nice.
Yeah, but they have the face scanner. That's what I know them for.
Yeah, so in the beginning we were using a facial scanner called the Arctic Spider, and it was from a company in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and Fernando introduced it to us. Resolution was extremely good. Predictability was really great. However, that thing back in 2008 was $40,000.
Wow, that's expensive.
Yep.
Just to get a scan of a face.
Right. So we were like, okay, well, Fernando thought, well, what other scanner can I look at? And that's where they came out with the InstaRisa 3.0.
Yeah, that's the newest one that's out.
From them, yes.
Yeah. You were involved with kind of getting that whole workflow to work with Exocad, and
I was proof that anyone could learn it. So Fernando and Mirelez came up with it, and then they were like, hey, Ed, we're going to train you how to do it. And sure enough, computers came to me a little easy, so I went ahead and I helped them out.
So what does that mean, helped them out? You just went through the software and tried to get workarounds and figure out how to use it?
So more than anything would be sort of like that acquisition, right? So you have the cases. However, now you need to go ahead and show that this works. So we were doing cases, or Dr. Mirelez was doing cases, and I would just be sort of like if you want to call it like the data, the record taker, sort of say. So I was do intraoral scans, face scans, photos, the whole shebang, the whole workup before we would do a pre-design.
Okay.
So how did you get implant placement? Were you doing photogrammetry or does...
No. So we were using, they're still using that technique, but we were using what is called Scandar. So it's where you put some sort of bite registration material, which is their own proprietary called Scandar.
Yep.
And then you would put the scan markers on. In the beginning, we were using the desk scan markers, but they noticed that, hey, this doesn't have quite the retention we need in order to get the predictability that's needed. So then they came out with their own scan marker, which if you look at it, it's a little unique design. But, that was what we feel was the initial part of intraoral scanning with some sort of breadcrumb trail to get passivity for implant position.
Wow.
So
way over my head.
What material?
Oh, Elvis got this.
What material did you use? I mean, it was like
it's
blue
called
mousse?
Scandar. It's almost like a blue mousse, but it has very special, oh my gosh, what is it called?
Sparkles?
I'm blanking on it here. Sorry. No, it's just the way it sets is different, and it sets, believe it or not, it sets fast and it's really hard.
And you did these between the scan bodies?
Correct.
Oh, so it gives you that connectivity, the solid scan throughout the full arch.
Yeah, because with tissue, the thing about tissue, it's mobile, it's shiny. And the scanner just didn't like to pick it up. And mind you, this was what, 2008, 2009.
Wow.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're real
That was a
early
fair
in the
amount
full
ago.
arch scan.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this system's still around?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I believe it's still
Says a lot.
on there. Yeah. No, definitely.
So we lost you. So where were you at this time?
At this time, I was still with Dr. Mirelez, and then I didn't venture off until recently this year, at the beginning of this year.
Oh, so you've been with them for a while and just recently.
Yeah. Just like everything, we all need to grow, do a little bit of changing in our lives. And those early years, we were putting quite some hours in.
Oh, yeah.
And I just,
Yeah.
I just thought maybe it was time to slow down a little.
Good for you.
But here I am now doing my own thing, and I don't know what slowing down means.
So what are you doing?
Yeah.
So what I do now is pretty much what I was doing for that company, only now I do it for myself. So I'll show doctors how to do digital capture for implant position, whether they want to use photogrammetry, how to get tissue, pretty much just going from analog to digital with everything. And then one of the big things is incorporating the face, which is a facial scanner. If they don't have a facial scanner, it's fine. I'm good with 2D photos.
So you're always recommending the designer having that face something, picture or scan.
Correct. Yeah. So one of the things that both of Dr. Mirelez and Dr. Bynum showed me were, there's a quote that Dr. John Coy says, if it looks good in the face, it's because it's probably right. It's the face that makes everything look right,
Yeah.
Sure.
If you can have the prettiest teeth, but if they don't look good in the face, I mean, look at Tom Cruise, right? We all notice that way off.
So can you go through that with me? Like, how does it photograph the face and how do you use it in the software?
Yeah. So, there's a sequence of faces, right? Just like in everything, there's a sequence of faces that we like to capture, and it's all Coyce based.
Right.
So, for example, we'll get Duchenne, we'll get natural, we'll get shush and repose, which is Emma or Ma. People have different techniques. And then we just overlay them. And then we now have lip positions as to, okay, well, bone reduction and Duchenne, I need to go at least 3 millimeters apical.
Right.
So I'll go ahead and use my Duchenne to get me that, ballpark my bone reduction.
Right.
Then I'll go ahead and get my incisal edge position from repose. We want to go ahead and show 1.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters of incisal edge position.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then, just a natural smile to go ahead and see what it will look like when they give us that natural smile, because that's what everyone wants to do when they get a new set of teeth, right?
Yeah.
Besides eating.
Show them off.
Yeah. And you won't believe it. It's unfortunate, but some people rather have aesthetics over functionality.
Really?
Yeah.
They want to look good, but if they have to chew, they just what?
They don't really care.
They have
to chew.
It's all about looks.
Interesting.
Even 50-year-old patient, if you give them A1, that's not bright enough.
Yo, well, yeah, I deal with that.
Yeah, so do
It's
I.
unbelievable.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
They're all
crazy.
A1, what's this?
I want it white. There's yellow in
That's
that.
right.
How do you have them get these photos? Is there, patient sitting, leaned back, up against the wall, standing? What is your
Protocol.
Your protocol? Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, so my own protocol, I've kind of had the opportunity to see how a lot of people capture them.
Yeah.
It's just being at the same level as the patient. Because if you're a little bit looking forward, if you're looking down, you're not going to get a good picture. It's going to be either, like I said, you're not going to be at a good focal point. You're either going to be looking down or looking up towards their nostrils, and that's not what you want. You want something that's straight on. So one of the techniques that was shown to me early on was have a mirror in the room when you're taking a picture. Why? Because what you'll do is you'll go ahead and have them look down, have them look up, and if they're looking themselves in the mirror, most of the time when you look in the mirror, you want to look straight on. You'll even fix the tent, right? Like you'll kind of readjust yourself so that you're looking straight forward. And then to help with that, like I mentioned, a lot of the things that were taught to me were through the Coyce principles.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I use these glasses. My favorite version are the clear ones. Like I think it's maybe version 3. Very easy to put on. If anything, you just glue on a little nose piece. You hold them on better. I find the new ones a little challenging to utilize. Maybe because I'm not a clinician, whatever it may be, but I like the clear ones.
So why challenging? What does it do?
It has some flags on the sides. So like that, if the patient's looking too far up, too far down, you're seeing color. You're either seeing red or green. And you don't want to see those colors. You want to go ahead and make sure.
Got it.
Exactly. It's kind of like a bubble leveler. So they even have little bubbles on them. So like that, you can see if they're canted. And, it also becomes more of a technique as well because, you have to make sure, okay, well, maybe the nose isn't straight. So therefore, I know I have to compensate. So don't pay attention to the bubbles, just kind of try and ballpark.
Right.
I've never seen these before. Glasses that help stabilize and straighten the face. I love it.
Yeah.
Had no idea these things even existed. What about lighting? Yeah. Do you care about lighting?
I'm not too picky with lighting. I know a lot of people are. I'm not doing a lot of crazy shade matching cases. And for us, it's like full mouth rehab.
Oh yeah, that's
so
easy.
We have the opportunity to just do all the teeth. So lighting isn't too crazy for me. But same as everyone, just a DSLR. However, I would use a ring flash. But that was before. Now, my brother has a nice little camera that has the lights in the backdrop, two of the side flashlights.
Oh, hold on. Take me back to your brother. What's your brother do?
He's a dentist as well. So he finished dental school quite some time ago, and he's been practicing for some time. And like I said, I'm very lucky. My sister-in-law is also a dentist, and her brother's a dentist. So I have lots of dentist mentorship going around me.
Man, that's amazing.
So at Christmas parties, that's all we speak about.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you mentioned your brother. You didn't really mention that. So you're in with him and her and all your family?
My brother and my sister-in-law.
Oh, wow.
So you do their work?
Yes, not all of it, some of it. I'd say about 80-90% of it.
Oh, nice.
That's a lot.
And this still allows you to go out and teach other doctors.
Yeah. That's one thing about my brother. He understands that I don't just want to be in the lab, which I think it's one of the things that separates the new technician. The new technician now has the capability of going to a practice and saying, hey, I can improve your flow or your whole part of making your restorations. So he understands that. And, it's my passion. I really like being able to teach people Exocad. And not only that, besides teaching, sometimes you'll learn something when you're trying to teach.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And there's been instances where I go out and I'm like, oh, I do it this way. And then they're like, well, have you tried doing this? And it's just one small thing that can change your entire process.
So what do they do? Doctors say, hey, I'm ready to go digital, give you a call, and you just kind of have a chat with them?
Yeah, just kind of, okay, well, what type of cases are you looking to do? What do you want to bring in-house? How much of this do you want to bring in-house? And, you just have to have that honest relationship and that honest call and tell them, this isn't going to be the easiest thing, but if you do decide to go this way, it can be very beneficial. But in the beginning, it's going to be a lot of troubleshooting.
You ever have a doctor call you that's still developing film and they want to go digital and you're like,
Fortunately, I have not. That has not been my case once yet. I have had to blow up some models, but not that.
Are you ever at a point where you're just like, no, you're not ready, or point, or it's not going to work? And if so, how do you address that? Like, you just kind of coach them?
You have to find the strongest player in the office, which luckily most practices have one. And that's who everyone feeds off of, meaning the energy, the work ethic. If you have one that just goes above and beyond,
grabber,
then, it's going to be practice.
I bet you I can give you a list of a few offices that don't.
That's what I was going to say. I've only been to one practice where I was like, okay, well, even the doctor's having some trouble. I'm just going to try my best and just call it a day, because there has been one where I just didn't know how to go about doing anything. It'd be like, okay, well, we need to implement this. We need to go here. And it's like, well, that's going to take too long.
That's got to be a little bit of a barrier for you, though. So it sounds like you've got it going on, though. So you just kind of pivot a little bit.
Yeah, nothing's perfect, even ourselves, right? So there's been instances where I'm like, okay, this is not going the direction I want. I'm struggling. I'm getting upset. I think it's starting to show. Let me pretend like I need to make a phone call or go to the restroom. And you just go and you cool down, right?
Go and you calm yourself down.
The best thing you can do.
And go at it again. That's pretty smart, though, honestly. Sounds like you've been through some therapy to me.
Like I said, it's mentorship under the right people. With Dr. Waltz's office, I know I had some incidents. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but I did have some incidents that helped me grow and mature, and he was gracious enough to, give me the second chance. Okay, well, you can't talk to a patient like that. You can't talk to a colleague like that. You can't talk to anyone like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
How do you introduce offices to digital? What's your process?
You have to ask the number one question. Do you have an intraoral scanner?
Number one question.
Well,
I would say I would agree. Good call.
Based off that intraoral scanner, you're going to know if they're ready or not. If they have a cheap intraoral scanner that they're saying, hey, this works, it gets me crown and bridge, great. Is that what you want to continue to do? No, I want to move into digital, or I want to move into full arch. I hate to tell you, but that scanner is not going to cut it.
Yeah. Now,
before, you would be telling them you need to purchase photogrammetry if you want to simplify your life, and a good intraoral scanner. But now with, the technology that's coming out there, I mean, look at that Elite. That's one of the scanners that I recommend a lot now, because it, kills two birds with one stone.
It's got photogrammetry in it?
The Shiny 3D Elite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
don't tell me you didn't know that, Elvis. Come on.
I don't think I did.
So that's the one that I tend to gravitate towards a lot, especially within the last 6 months. It's like, hey, you guys need to try this one out.
So talk about it a little bit, would you? So if
how does that work?
Looking for a scanner and you were going to recommend the Elite, what are the positives and negatives about it? I've never heard of it, by the way.
In the beginning, there was a lot of, holding back on it, because for surgery records, it was a little bit of a pain and a headache. But from what I understand, I haven't used it for surgery in quite some time. But when I did get to use it, the stitching wasn't predictable, and there was a workaround you had to do. So, you normally you get your preoperative scan with your fiduciary marker.
Right.
Yep.
You correlate that to your pre-design. If you don't have a pre-design, at the end of the world, you still correlate that to the beginning, right?
Yep.
Then you go ahead and you remove your teeth, avioplasty, place implants, place MUAs, suture everything back up.
Yep.
Okay, so how are we going to get that without a fiduciary marker if it's not letting us scan? Because, at the day of surgery, there's heme everywhere. There's saliva. The patient wants it closed. It's just a nightmare, right?
Oh, yeah.
If they're not IV fully sedated. The stitching just wasn't stitching how everyone wanted it and hoped to. So when you were getting your implant position to that scan, it was just like, okay, well, I'm having to do this manually. What's the purpose of it? Like, yeah, I'm getting them the implant position, but you guys were selling me that everything aligns, because that's one of the key things, right? We want to save time on the alignment process.
Yeah.
So if everything comes in alignment, then it's a game changer, which now, to my understanding, it does come that way. So you can have whether it's your day of surgery or, you're going to a prototype try-in, everything comes aligned. You just export the files, bring it into Exocad, and you can start working.
How many scans do you have to do? Just one?
It's a series of 3 scans, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yeah.
Whether it's your pre-op or your hybrid in the mouth.
Yeah.
Then your healing caps and your scan marker, or your scan flag, which is I believe they call them the PG markers.
So you still don't use it outside of the mouth like you do photogrammetry. It's all intraoral scanning.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like any grammetry system, I guess. Yeah.
What's the difference between photogrammetry and grammetry, y'all?
Ed, do you want to take it?
So one is just, and I could be wrong, I might be misquoting it a bit. Your photogrammetry is actual coordinates that are being provided by the extraoral use of the camera. Right. And then with the grammetry, it's more of landmarks. Okay, there's landmarks on this marker, and it's going to do its best to stitch everything together. But from my understanding, that Elite scanner has both, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
That's interesting, yeah. I mean, I've always thought of it as photogrammetry is a picture outside the mouth picking up landmarks. Grammetry is using your intraoral scanner to scan the same landmarks, but it's done inside the mouth, like a scan.
Is that right? Tell me it's wrong, would you? I'm not asking Elvis. Not sure. Just saying. Tell me he's wrong, would you? For once.
He said right. So I'm going to go with Elvis.
All right.
Sorry,
I get it then. No, it makes me understand. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not the implant guru of this podcast. You are.
Are you only helping doctors get into full arch, or what about those doctors that just want to go digital but have no desire to even place implants? Is that a thing?
It is, but just from what I experience, the cosmetic dentists, they prefer full-spathic restorations, and zirconia to them isn't appealing. So for them, a digital, maybe like for a wax up, which then they do a model, but they still want to do, they like the hands-on part. They like putting in their own artistic sense into their work. So there are people who do want to do it, but then it's a little bit challenging because they rather just get the wax up and just end it there.
You've got dentists who like feldspathic still? Jesus, where are you located?
Yeah,
where are you at?
A lot of the cosmetic ones,
right?
Do.
California, man.
they just like it has better translucency,
So you've got labs out there that are still doing feldspathic?
From what I understand, yes.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody out there is doing it.
That's something that I've never learned to do, so I don't, as soon as they tell me just provide me a wax up, I'm more than happy.
I'm not being negative about it. I think it's pretty awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then what do? Teach these offices Exocad?
Yeah, so for example, I'm here in Virginia, Alexandria, and it's a clinician I met, and he likes some of my work, and he wants to bring stuff in-house, and he feels like the next step, okay, they're doing the digital workflow. His next step is now learning how to do Exocad. So he has his whole entire team, today, Friday, and tomorrow, Saturday, and we're just going through the whole design portion of Exocad.
So how do you teach them A to Z? Like, what do you do? How does your course go? Familiar with it a little bit, right?
Yeah, so that was one of the things that I did mention to him. I said, hey, this might be more than a one-time thing. But if you have someone in there who's pretty tech savvy and they're already designing at least your crown and bridge, then yeah, we can go ahead and do it. But if not, then it's going to be a long
It's going to be way over their
video.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Were they already doing like CEREC crowns or something? And they at least had their toe dipped into the design aspect of it.
Correct. Yeah. So, a lot of people have their printers now. So they'll do their provisional design on Exocad or Zircon's on. Right. And then they'll go ahead and take it to the printer, and then they'll just send it out to be finalized, whether it's Emax or zirconia or full-spathic, or whatever direction they want to go in. Wow. And normally these courses, what I try and do is, at least always start with the first step, which is your pre-design. Because once you do the heavy lifting of the pre-design, if you have a decent workflow and, you stick to it,
Right.
that pre-design is going to carry the weight of the entire process.
You're talking full arch again, right?
Whether it's full arch or like say full arch crown and bridge, that pre-design is going to be the pre-design or the design that the patient is happy with in the mouth, kind of like their mock-up.
Yeah,
instead of doing it in their mouth, they're looking at it on the computer.
So you're taking pictures of the patient, doing that mock-up, putting that mock-up into that picture, showing it to them, getting a thumbs up, and then you're good to go.
Exactly. Now we have a surgery date coordinated, and doctor preps, places implants,
Yep.
Extracts teeth, the whole shebang, whatever they need to do. And now, from the day of surgery to the pre-design, then you got to let them heal. For crown and bridge is a little bit more streamlined because then you can just go ahead. Okay, hey, wear them. You happy with this? No, what do you want to change? All right, let's make those modifications. You want to wear them, or you just want to go to final?
Do most patients want to wear them, or do most patients want to go to final, or doctors?
No, if they are a very picky patient, they're gonna say, "Let me try him in. I want to see look like in my face with the shade." And it's that battle again of, okay, well, keep in mind these are temporaries; these are not the final shade. We can always make them brighter. We can change this, that, make them a little bit more translucent. But it sometimes works against us when we're
and
it doesn't always work either. Yep. I had a patient go through 2 sets of temps, got the thumbs up, and went to final, and she called a week later saying it wasn't right. And I said, it's the exact same thing you loved last week. Yep.
Which, that's the most bizarre thing, right? It's like, it's the exact same thing, but just because it's a different material, you're gonna say, hey, I want something else. It's suddenly
teeth were angled in her mouth, and I'm like, they aren't, and it was just crazy. And
especially for full mouth rehab cases, like for all on X, they go from no teeth or broken chipped teeth to having something decent in their mouth or something that looks good to, hey, I don't like it, fix this little part here.
Yeah.
It's like you went from a horror show to the most beautiful thing, and you don't like it. Interesting.
Yeah. But at the same part, they did spend a lot of money, and I'd be a little picky too. So
very true.
I find I want to kill them sometimes. And I'm like the 3rd and 4th time, I'm like, what is your problem? Like, I don't understand it. And you try to get in their heads and figure it out and make the adjustments, but sometimes they're just crazy. Sorry. But, you run into those people that are pathologically crazy. Not like Elvis, but...
No, of course not. So do you teach these offices about these issues they're going to run into when they start doing full arch? I mean, what used to be, hey, lab, change this and redo it. Hey, lab, change this and redo it. Now they're doing it themselves.
You will not believe when I tell you that, certain offices that hold themselves up to, the excellence factor.
Yeah.
They'll keep it that way. But some labs or some offices, once they start doing things in-house, when they used to complain about my designs, and then I look at the stuff that they sometimes ask me to troubleshoot for them, I'm like, and you guys said something about my designs?
I always say that. I said they would never accept that from the lab, and yet they're throwing them in the mouth, designing and milling them themselves, and they look like shit. Sorry. But it's true.
Yeah.
They have a lower level.
It's easy to be pickier of other people's work.
Well,
it is.
Plus, when you could ask for a remake and it's not your dime, it's a little easier.
I think that's the biggest thing as well. When we were doing things in-house, it was just like, oh, just grab another puck, we'll remake it. But then, you go onto your own thing and it's a little bit hurtful now. It's like, remake it? No, what's wrong with it? Like, tell me what is wrong with it, because I do not want to spend another cent on this case that we redid twice for, I don't know what the reason is when they all look the same to me.
So true.
It's funny. I work with a lot of offices that just got the sprint ready workflow, and they get the tough, what's it called? All on tough or...
Oh, yes.
Tough X or whatever they're... Yeah, they get this bottle of resin, and at first you print something, and they're like, I'm going to print 2 just in case. Or, yeah, I'm going to change this and then print another one. But the second they have to order a new bottle, suddenly they're real stingy on it. Yeah, they suddenly learn that, wow, this stuff's expensive, and I'm not going to print everything twice anymore.
Seriously. But, it's just part of which is, it's funny. I was speaking with some colleagues about that, and we were just talking about how people say printing is the future of dentistry.
Right.
I have to disagree with that.
Oh.
The cost of the resin bottles,
Yeah.
it's crazy now.
It's crazy.
I remember when Sprint Ray first came out, it was a bigger bottle, filled at least 90% all the way up, and it was for something. It was a little under $500. Now it's at what, $800, $900 for a bottle that's smaller with less resin.
The bottle is so small.
Holy.
This was supposed to compete with PMA.
Yeah, they even sell you a special tray so you don't use as much.
And then see those things, it's like, oh, well, now they have a little cartridge. Oh, well, now they have all these nuances that, I don't know, maybe they do speed up the process, maybe they don't, but it's just, like I said, it kind of makes printing not so fun.
So what sort of things do you run into when you go to these offices and get them into digital? I mean, are they all for it? Do they struggle with some things?
A lot of it has to do with, like I said, having that one person who's going to guide them or at least keep things on.
It's hard to put all that weight on one employee.
I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very small amount.
Especially the turnover that happens.
That's what's going to be my next thing. I had one doctor that I was working with, and it broke my heart when they said, hey, this person's leaving in July. And I was just like, oh no. What are my records going to look like? What are my records going to look like? Are they still going to look the same?
So do you go back in and train when that happens? They get a new person and you go back in and be like, okay, let's go back through it. Or
we train not to. We have phone conversations, FaceTime, Google Meet, the whole shebang. Unfortunately, sometimes it is necessary to go back.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was wondering that. So you've got to train them from the very beginning and bring them all the way through. So do people that you've trained, they go on to other clinicians? That kind of stuff.
You won't believe it. Some of them just leave dentistry.
Wow.
I would very
believe that, actually.
bizarre.
What are you doing to him, Ed?
Yeah.
I thought I was helping them, but apparently, I made their workload more. Which that does happen, there's some, that's actually one of the worst things that has happened to me. It's, you go in, you show them, and then all of a sudden you say, or you hear them say in the background, and they think, you're not listening or that you're not going to have an opinion about it. But, oh, wow, who's going to do all this work? It's cool that you're doing it, but who's going to do it when you leave?
Yeah.
Who's going to implement this? And, one of the big things is I don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot, to be honest with you. Dental technicians also, mostly.
Well, of course.
Yes.
But a lot of assistants, if you bring in a whole new digital workflow where all of a sudden they're manufacturing, I've had a few of them say, I didn't get into this to run a printer, and babysit a printer or whatever they say. I mean, it's a lot.
Which leads to a good point, and it's not necessarily a point, but it's the discussion of how many doctors bring in a digital workflow and they go in all in thinking it's going to be all return capital.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, not even a year later, and they're getting rid of their mill, they're getting rid of their printer. They're going back to the lab. Why? Because the lab is dependable, or a designer, which is what a lot of people like myself offer. It's like, okay, well, you have a printer, you have a mill. Okay, I can do your designs, but who's going to finish them for you? And next thing you know, I'm in collaboration with the lab, and I'll do all of their designs, and then we send it off to the lab, and the lab just finishes it. But it's a big responsibility on the clinician's part. They wanted to become a dentist because they didn't want to had a job full time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Most clinicians work Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
When they're taking on that in-house lab responsibility, it's like, oh my gosh, the patient broke their hybrid. I can't just tell the lab, hey, remake me another one. I got to tell my team. Now I got to pay for overhead. Now I have a person that wants to leave the office because now they're, like we said, they don't want that responsibility.
And then it becomes an issue of shared responsibility when something doesn't go right. I'm noticing this, like, they send the records, we do the design, they print, and let's say it doesn't fit. Well, where's the error? We all had hands in this pot, and you got to troubleshoot it, and it makes it a little harder, actually.
It makes it really challenging. But, I've learned now to it comes off a little different when we just right away, like, hey, it wasn't me. So now what I'll do is, okay, well, do me a favor, take a scan of your printed hybrid, and then I'll bring it into Exocad and I can show you if it's deviation on the print, which 80% of the time we see that deviation where they're either overcooking it or undercooking it. And the hybrid is not even the same as what we have on the design.
Wow.
That's a great idea. So what do you scan the whole hybrid, just 360 the whole thing, and then just line it up?
Yeah, you can either put, some of those reverse scan bodies,
Yeah.
and then you can bring it back into your implant position, or you can just, scan it in the mouth, which the one in the mouth works sometimes. But if it's day of surgery, you're going to see that big discrepancy, which is one of the reasons why, I like using photogrammetry, because at least like that, I know, okay, it's going to be 10% of the time when it's the photogrammetry. Maybe they didn't put the scan marker all the way down, but at least that gives me peace of mind when I'm using photogrammetry.
100%.
I don't have to worry about the scan marker position. So more than likely.
Have you used some of the other systems, the photogrammetry? Do you have favorites, ones you like working with?
So one of my doctors, she's super awesome. Her name is Dr. Mary Oliveri. She's in New Jersey.
I've heard of her.
She actually Grammy.
For sure.
Man, you're all over the place.
Yep.
It's funny. Most of the clinicians that I work with are here in the East Coast, and I'm in the West Coast, so I feel like I need to move
You
here.
should move here.
But no, so she's very awesome, and she actually still has the Grammy version. I know it's now tuple, but the thing I like about that guy is just it gives you the implant positions, whether you take one or two. It gives you the implant position all in the same orientation. So if you're taking multiple scans for whatever reason, say you're putting some teres and you have to go very far posterior and some of them are in your way, it exports them in the same position. So I don't have to worry about, I have to align this one to this one, and then hopefully it aligns well.
Interesting.
Is that the one from Blue Sky Bio?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I was going to say. It's very inexpensive. So I feel like that's like a no-brainer, just like the Elite scanner, because it's a 2-in-1. But the other one that I do like is the one from Sin, the Micron Mapper.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
Same thing. You get your implant position, and you can use those scan posts to get your tissue scan as well. However, I will say that one, it depends on who's scanning. I've had some offices that say, I can't get this scan. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. And I'm trying to guide them, and, it's surgery and they're panicking and
God.
It's not a good time.
It definitely takes a good eye to line them up.
Yeah.
I had a surgery where it took us a good 8 minutes to scan, and then the next arch we did, it took 4 seconds, and you're like,
Exactly. And it's mostly on the lower. Every challenge I've seen, it's always on the lower.
Oh, that's photogrammetry or not photogrammetry. That's just life.
Why?
That lower is just it's something else.
Less landmarks, Barb. You don't have the palate and the rugae, and
Got it.
the tongue's not there, and it's just, if I have an upper, I sweat less.
Exactly. How do you guys feel about these new workflows with the CBCTs?
I have yet to experience it.
Same.
So what is it, a CBCT with the scan flags in?
Yeah, so there's multiple ways of doing it, but it's pretty much you're aligning a preoperative CBCT to a day of surgery CBCT.
So when the patient is flapped and groggy, you're standing them up and getting them to a CBCT machine?
Yeah, or you have them lay there, and there's people out there that have a mobile CBCT machine, which they'll just have the patient in the same position that they're in, IV sedated, knocked out, and they'll just go ahead and have the machine rotate around the patient. So you no longer need to bring the patient to the CBCT machine.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to do a case like that, but no, I don't think that technology has reached Indiana yet.
It's cool, but I did have some people ask me, because I mentioned a lot of things, and then they're all, yeah, but is that second exposure of radiation really needed?
Really? They say that?
They asked me, and I'm just like, well, I'm not a clinician. I can't answer that question.
Wow. But wouldn't you automatically say, yeah, we need those. We need them. Yes.
Right?
That's interesting.
What is it? The Botec Green, it has such a big capture and so fast that they say it's less radiation than being outside.
That's interesting.
So
Yep.
I think it's just verbiage, and what everyone thinks, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the patient who, I'm okay with it, I'm not okay with it, just like the clinician.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to go that route.
Some office I go into says you can get more radiation from eating a banana than you can a dental X-ray.
Yeah, I've noticed
and I'm
that.
like people just freak out about it, and those are the same people who think we're getting cancer from our cell phones. So
or brain, yeah, brain. I guess you're right. That's true.
Yeah,
I've never heard that. So
yeah. So how do offices usually find you? Is it just Instagram or
word of mouth, or I did meet quite a bit of people through InstaRisa. They'll be like, hey, remember me? I met you at InstaRisa. And I was like, oh, yeah, how you been? And then, one thing gets going to the next. And then we just kind of start talking, and they'll tell their friends, or whether it's from the Coy Center, they knew Dr. Jeff Bynum, and Dr. Jeff Bynum puts me in communication with them.
Nice.
It's just, I'm lucky to have a good group that I've associated myself with.
So are you, do you get referrals basically from Coyce, or are you with a company, or how is your...
Not necessarily from the Coy Center themselves, but like from people from the Coy Center. Because, just like everywhere, it's a group of clinicians, and they'll say, well, which lab are you using? Or, oh, who are you using for your pre-design?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, this is my guy. Just contact him, and I'm sure he'll work.
Referrals, eh? That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Good for you.
And then they say, we want to do this ourselves.
Which, like I said, a lot of the time, once I'm out there, they'll say, hey, this is going to take me some time. Can you go ahead and do my designs?
Yeah.
Of course. I'm here for you.
Do you sell the products, or do you just say, this is what I recommend getting?
Correct. I don't have any sort of affiliation with any reselling or anything. It's just like what I feel is best, I'll recommend. And then the doctor will either listen to me or say, hey, I learned that, or I heard that this product is better than the one you're saying. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go with that one. And then they'll ask the question, do you know how to use it? Or you can help me with it. I'll do my best.
Absolutely, I can.
I think that's really unique in what you do, Ed, because, you're not the only person technician that goes into offices to teach them how to do stuff, but they usually try to sell them the equipment.
Right.
You seem very unbiased towards what they have and what they want to use. And I think that's kind of unique.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I kind of just like working with a lot of things because, it doesn't help to be a one show pony or a one trick.
Yep.
Okay, well, you only know how to use photogrammetry. Okay, well, I don't have photogrammetry. How are you going to help me? Then, you got to have a way to help people, and not only people, but, sometimes there's the patient. The patient does come in the back of the head of, okay, well, it sucks. They can't get it right. So what am I going to do? Or how can I have a positive influence in making this go in the right direction? And
I love that.
Fernando showed me that early on. Before I met Fernando, I was actually very like close-minded. And this guy, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have spoken to him or if you guys have met him.
Yeah,
but,
we have.
He's very, well, have you tried doing this? Oh, well, you have tried doing that. And he just goes like on and just thinking, which I don't know if I'll ever be that open-minded, but, I like to think that one day I'll get
I will.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
Well, it seems like you're doing a good thing, man. It seems like you're out there teaching them the good way and the right way to do things.
Thank you. Yep.
Still offering lab services, too, which has got to keep you pretty busy.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, Ed. We appreciate you coming on the podcast. Yep. And what's the best way for if someone listening to this wants to get a hold of you?
Yeah, more than anything, I'm a big Instagram social media guy.
Sure.
So if I get a message on my Instagram, I go ahead and I respond fairly quickly on there.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool. So what's your Instagram name? Because it's usually not just people's names.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm always in the East Coast, but I was one time with a group in Florida, and they were like, hey, you should be West Coast Ed. So I ended up switching my Instagram name from my actual personal name to West Coast Ed. That's EDD77.
Love it.
Yeah.
EDD77. Awesome, man.
Super.
I have a feeling you're going to be busy.
All right. The dogs say it's over. So have a hey,
right.
Thank you so much.
All right, Ed. We appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you.
We'll talk to you real soon.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
A huge thanks to Ed for coming on our podcast to talk about your journey to helping dentists go digital. I don't think Elvis and I have heard a story like yours yet, so... It used to be easy to go digital, just get a scanner, but now it's so much more, and who better to learn from than a dental technician?
Damn straight.
Everybody, go follow Ed on Instagram at West Coast EDD 77. Is that right? West Coast Ed or West Coast EDD?
It's Ed with 2 Ds, but...
Okay. Everyone go to follow Ed on Instagram at West Coast Ed 77 with 2 Ds. And see some of the cool things he is showing dentists. Because if your lab doesn't know what to do with a face scan, you might be missing out on work, guys.
Yeah, a lot of people are starting to get into it, and if you don't accept it, might not use you.
Just do it.
All right, everybody.
Well, I hope everybody has a great week. Have a good week.
Absolutely. Yep. Talk to you all next week. Have a good one.
All right. Bye. Take care.
Well, live from the bed.
Exactly.
The views and opinions expressed on the Voices from the Bench podcast are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the host or Voices from the Bench, LLC.